Hello, sports fans. Mauricio here. Well, this is chapter 2 of the CommandBuilder series. If you've watched chapter 1, I think it was a 5-part video series, you could see the web page looks a little different. So, what I want to start with is showing the differences. Between version 1 of the software basically and version 2. Kind of tell you what I'll be showing new in version 2, review what happened in version 1, talk about all the ADO.NET objects, how it all works together, etc., etc. So, so this first part of chapter 2, let's just get reacquainted. And we'll go through the code a little bit, then we'll see the new things. So the first thing I wanted to mention was this works very well in Chrome as the browser, but I get reports of, hey, that thing's not working when I use Edge, Microsoft, which is funny. But to change that, you right-click your ASPX file and click browse with. Browse with allows you to set the default, so you can see I've got Chrome here going on. So I do recommend Chrome. All right, so take a look at what we got going. So I went ahead and put all the links a little bit higher. So I guess I'll show this as I go along, but I put a table here, and I think I added a second row just to give some space there. But I just did table and then insert table, and 2 rows, 2 columns. And then I could put my image and my store name over here, and then here's my hyperlinks. So I think I did change one of the hyperlinks, but I just pushed things up on the page. So just to show, there's a lot going on in the products. Now we have sales entry. I made a bunch of reports, so that's going to be new. That's going to be its own video because we have to do group by queries. And then Power BI reports. So I don't think, I didn't make anything yet, but that's where that'll go. So, what did the prior version do? Well, when you turned it on, you got a list of your products. B, you could filter your list of products, so I can just see products for one category. C, we saved a row. A new row into the dimension table. That's always the easiest place to start. Saving rows. But a lot of technology was needed to just do those basic things. Show data, filter data, save data. And so what makes all that possible, by the way, is the good old data adapter. Data adapter is an object made by Microsoft that runs SQL commands. We're going to use it in this CommandBuilder series to use a low-code or no-code way to do inserts into a table and updates to a record that's in a table. So just inserting one row and just editing one row. If we wanted to edit 10 rows, like all the products from the food department, for example, we don't have code for that now. But the data adapter with its good buddy, the CommandBuilder, can do a lot. So just show you that. So for example, we had a data adapter for products, and this data adapter is a global object, public shared, so it's a global object. It's not inside. It's not a local object. Local local procedure. Yeah. So if you had a local object like this integer variable, you would, if local means inside a procedure. So if you want a local variable, it only lives inside a procedure, and the next procedure doesn't have access to its values. So if you put the objects as a global, so for example, this integer variable, that could be seen from anywhere inside the web page. Any of the procedures can all access that value. So probably one procedure gets that value, the other procedure uses that value, the third procedure updates that value. So if you need to share that information, you put the object as globally. So similarly, this and so I put a G in front of things that are global. Look at that, I'm a liar already. So I guess I should put a G there. And command builder, just put a G there. And yeah, those are the only, well, lied again. All right, so these are a stack of technologies: data adapter, command builder, data table. Please put them in that order: data adapter, command builder, data table. The data table is the array. So you need to make the data adapter first, because when you do the command builder, when you create it, and by the way, all these are as new, these ADO.NET objects, so active data objects, specifically written by Microsoft to connect to relational databases. So this stack of objects are built for speed to work with the SQL database, so that's why we're using them. There is OLADB for all relational databases, so there's a different type of OLADB connection, OLADB, data adapter, etc. I once heard there's an Oracle stack also if you're working with a back-end database. So we are inside the Visual Studio web page here, and it can use different objects to connect to different databases. So we're just sticking with the SQL. Why not? It's all free from, well, I'm sure we're all paying for it somehow, but it all works together very well, and I think it has a minimal amount of code that you have to write. But we have a data adapter, and this data adapter is going to save a new product for us, and this data adapter is going to be used to update products if we want to, although I think I used a different one for that for another reason. No, excuse me. That's for editing. But so we'll use this data adapter for saving a new row and then also retrieving data. But we have the good friend, the data adapter, and it allows us to save data. And so just to mention that objects that you should have understood by the last set of videos. And by the way, well, let's say this as sweetly as possible. I don't think it's in your best interest to just go through the videos and just find what you need to get an assignment done. I don't think you'll learn much. I hope you, as troubling as it is perhaps to listen to my slow voice, you could speed it up. But if you want to learn the theory and actually understand how it all works, so you can so it sticks in long-term memory, and you could transfer this understanding to the next thing you learn, I think you really need to learn it. So I just encourage your endurance through the videos. They're my way of teaching you the theory. So to date, we used views, a lot of ADO.NET objects, including the connector, connection, data adapters, command builders, general procedures. Then we used something else called a SQL command, and we used a data adapter with the filters with the input parameters. So I guess I'll just point all those things out. So what's a view? What's a view? So I guess this is a glossary. A view is a section of your web page. So we dropped a multi-view on here, and then we put views inside it. So you drop the multi-view on it, put a view in it, and so for example, I have room at the bottom for more views down here if I wanted to put them on here, and you put another view on here, and then just open it up. And so they're view 1 through 4. Then you need one link that gets to each of the views. So for example, this first link goes to view 1, but things are indexed, so it's really index 0. And then, but I did take the time to label these or name these. So products is index 0, but view 1. Sales is index 1. Then I started changing things, and so I have reports is view 3, but index 2. And interestingly, we can call, by the way, the word call is optional, but I like it, so I try to use it. But when you click the reports link, it's going to refresh the report. So that's a whole little procedure that makes sure the reports are fresh. You wouldn't want somebody to make a decision off of old data. I'm sure it happens. All right, so we got our link buttons going. We got how about our connection? So our connection, and so that's my connection. Your connection, you would change the initial catalog to whatever your database is. Fall 2025, it happens to be MF57. The next semester, it'll be 61. 2026, the first semester. So that changes all the time. But so you use your database. Initial catalog is what they call it in the connection string. You use yours and I'll use mine. And and then we have this stack of ADO.NET objects. By the way, it's really a system.data.SQL client.SQL connection. So these objects have very long names. So that's why we use this imports. So we don't have to type the really long names. Data table is agnostic. It's not a SQL client data table. It's just a data table, and it's not specific to SQL. So you don't put system.data to the SQL client in front of it. But that's good because the data table not being tied to SQL directly, the data table can consume. A data table, by the way, is an array in your web page. So the data table can hold data from Excel, from Access, from SQL, from Oracle, from 10 other things. So it's good that it's an array that isn't heavily tied to one technology stack. So we have the data adapter, which runs the select statement. Initially, the data adapter also can do an insert and an update if you have a SQL command builder. So the command builder is a widget inside Visual Studio.NET that it builds SQL. So it's kind of just what it sounds like. It builds insert and update and delete statements. So we get the data. The data adapter knows which table to work with because you have to specify that. And you get the data and you copy it from the database and put it into an array. And then when you have it in an array, then you can display it in a grid view. And so and then the grid views look like this. So, well, that's the end of part 1. And we'll see you in part 2. Thank you.